For a long time, the mission of user risk was focused on a single objective: discovering every shadow SaaS, and AI application in your environment and installing a policy layer to govern them. We've since delivered on that mission, and while it was a massive step forward, we still had more work to do. To understand why our work wasn't finished, consider what happened to Vercel. As many of you may know, a Vercel employee signed up for an unapproved shadow AI tool, Context AI, using their corporate Google identity. Context AI requested broad OAuth permissions, access to emails, calendar, and Google Drive. When attackers breached Context AI, they walked away with those OAuth tokens, and with them, access to Vercel's environment and their customers' secrets. Had they been using user risk, that chain of events could have been broken at the start. Unapproved shadow AI usage detected, elevated OAuth permissions flagged right at sign up. That's the foundation we've built. What we're announcing today takes it all a step further. The truth is, risk doesn't stop at the app level. True human risk unfolds inside the application the moment a user makes a decision you can't see. Approved or not, users are active, and the actions they take, pasting sensitive data, uploading confidential files, or reusing a single password across a dozen accounts, are where the next threats live. You've set the policy, but until now, you couldn't see what happened next. User risk, browser detection, and response capabilities change that. Knowing which apps are approved is the baseline, but security needs to live where risk is. For the first time, admins can defend what users do, not just where they're allowed to go. Moving data, uploading files, and authenticating with a weak password, these aren't just policy violations waiting to happen. They're breaches materializing in real time. Let's see this in action. A user navigates to DeepSeek, an unsanctioned AI tool their organization hasn't seen before. The moment they land, UpGuard intervenes. The user sees a nudge. This app isn't approved. Here's no approved alternative. Our first goal is education, giving the user a chance to self-correct before we enforce a harder line. In this case, they ignore the nudge and keep going. They copy customer data such as social security numbers and credit card details and paste it directly into their DeepSeek prompt. UpGuard blocks the action. The data never reaches the app. The notification is now explicit. Pasting data into this application is against company policy to protect sensitive information from being shared. They try a different route, a file upload. Same result, blocked. That's two separate attempts, two interceptions, and zero data leaked. Now here's the part that matters. When the user takes the recommendation and switches over to an approved alternative, say Claude, the friction disappears. They can paste, they can upload, and they can stay productive. This isn't about stopping work. It's about making sure it happens in the right, secure place. Another scenario is password hygiene. Imagine a user is signing up for Domino's on their work device with no SSO or OAuth logins. UpGuard detects that the password they're entering already exists across other accounts. This isn't a vague warning. We show them exactly where this password has been used before, block the attempt, and prompt a reset. So they try an old favorite, password 123 exclamation mark. It clears basic complexity rules, but UpGuard catches it anyway. Not because it failed a character check, but because we detect predictable structures, keyboard sequences, and substitutions that attackers exploit every day. This is the risk that slips through standard policies. On the third attempt, they enter a unique password, and they're in. That's two vulnerabilities closed before they even materialized. This gives security admins two new areas of control inside user risk. Data loss prevention, the power to govern data movement inside any application, and authentication hardening, the last mile complementing your existing SSO and password managers. Reuse credentials, weak patterns, personal OAuth sign-ins, caught at the browser in real time. Every blocked paste attempt and every password caught is an incident that never happened. And for organizations requiring stricter controls, admins can block personal OAuth sign-ins entirely, preventing users from authenticating to corporate applications with personal Google or Microsoft accounts. closing the exact door that was left open at Vercel. User risk started with visibility and app-level governance, but we know visibility alone isn't a defense. Browser detection and response is a natural evolution and the next layer of protection. We're giving you total control over what happens inside your application in your environment. This is just the beginning of the next chapter of user risk. We're continuing to push the boundaries of what browser level security can do, and we can't wait to show you everything we're working on. So, reach out to your UpGuard contact to get started today.